The story so far. The Conservatives had been in office for a decade. For the first 5 years, they were the biggest party in a coalition that was advertised as a way to reduce our national debt, make us richer, and avoid chaos. They did this by increasing the national debt by 50%, making the economy £100 billion smaller, and creating ever-increasing homelessness, blossoming food banks, plunging investment, soaring inequality, crumbling productivity, rampant xenophobia, a series of desperate NHS crises, a few omni-shambolic budgets, and, to the best of my knowledge, a solitary accusation of prime ministerial pig-fucking. Most of these problems arose out of a magical plan to fix our finances that the Tories had dreamed up. They called it austerity, and it meant cuts to pretty much everything important: health, education, housing, food production, energy generation, staff training, climate change, transport infrastructure, and business investment. But not to things that are of no importance whatsoever, such as billionaires. To understand austerity's ruthless, immutable logic, just imagine a wealthy football manager chopping bits off his players' feet until the team feels well enough to run around and score goals. The policy was so successful that the UK's growth forecast was cut almost constantly from 2010 to 2016, and Britain's workers were paid less after a decade than they had been when the enrichment plan began. That's assuming those workers had made it through the decade at all. Austerity led to over 330,000 excess deaths. The Tories said they'd avoided chaos, but to an objective eye this did look a bit chaotic, and by 2016 the public were pissed off, and the Conservatives had run out of people to blame. Something needed to change. But what? Not the demented politics or destructive economics, obviously, and definitely not the government. Heaven forfend. So, instead, the Tories simply co-opted the preoccupations of a group of minor league dingbats called UKIP and began explaining to everybody that things had gone to shit because of the existence of Belgium. It didn't really matter that this made no sense. The Conservatives had had enough of experts, and seemingly of exports too, and figured that the £100 billion they'd already cost us wasn't nearly enough. From now on, they'd cost us 4% of GDP, that's £88 billion, every single year. Just £1 billion would form a tower of £10 notes, 6.2 miles high. I don't want to overstate things, but that's quite a big pile of money. And the Tories planned to cost us 88 times that much, not just once, but annually. That's like misplacing a stack of £10 notes towering 545 miles high and then losing another stack the same size every subsequent year.